It's time to talk Star Wars. I'm in the car. It's raining. It's crappy, but I saw Mandolorian and Grogu, so let's talk about it. This is a requel kind of special, just Tyler's thoughts part of the podcast. And let me tell you guys a little story to kick this off. So I get paid on Friday at the time of this recording, and both the kids got out of school yesterday. And we're like, let's go see Mandalorian and Grogu. And I was like, guys, um, gas is expensive. I gotta put gas in the car. It's a little tight. I don't have all the money that I need. Um, but I was like, your grandparents got you Dairy Queen gift cards. Do you guys want to go to Dairy Queen? They're both like, yeah, let's go. So we're at Dairy Queen. There's no one in there. We're sitting inside. We got ice cream and some food. And Selah never ties her shoes, so it falls off. So I push the table back and I push the booth back so that she can get down and get her uh, shoe. And she pops up giggling hard and laughing. And I'm like, what's up? And she shows me she found a $20 bill under the seat. And I'm like, all right, well, let's hold on and see. We sit there for a good 30 minutes. Nobody shows up, nothing. And she's like, let's go to the movies. So we went and saw Mandalorian and Grogu. And these are my thoughts. The first thought, this is my kid's first time seeing a Star Wars movie on the big screen. Uh, there was something going on last time, and I don't remember. They weren't able to join me to see Revenge of the Sith for the anniversary. I saw that with my buddy Brian. Solomon was 4 when Rise of Skywalker came out. Selah was 2. So this was a big experience of getting to see Star Wars on the big screen. Now, up front, I'm going to say I give The Mandalorian and Grogu a B. It was enjoyable. My kids had a good time. They both liked it. Solomon has really loved The Mandalorian. He's been watching the series, and Selah likes Grogu because, of course, she does. But I'm watching this with a little bit more of a critical eye. Do I like that this was kind of like a adventure with Din? Yes. Do I feel like it deserved to be a movie? No. One of the issues with The Mandalorian as a series was it was made to be cinematic. It was made to feel like Star Wars on the big screen, but on television. And we've only had 2 Star Wars movies that were not, well, technically 3 if you count Clone Wars, part of the Skywalker saga. And that's where I'm trying to think. So I'm thinking of Rogue One and I'm thinking of Solo, which I like both of those films to different degrees. And I haven't ranked Mandalorian and Grogu yet, but I will later today. And I love Star Wars. I've watched everything but The Bad Batch. I'm actually watching it now. It just didn't interest me as much because I really love the good versus evil Jedi Sith, those type of stories. But with The Mandalorian and Grogu, in a way, it felt like 2 long episodes of the show in the earlier seasons. It didn't feel like this was big enough and epic enough to be a film. And that's where I'm bumping my head is I like that this is accessible, that if you don't watch the show, you can still come in and watch the film and get a feeling of what this is in the Star Wars universe. I think it works that way. I'm not 100%. Um, I feel like if you're making a movie, it needs to be some sort of large, epic, worth seeing on the big screen. Do I feel like this was anything different than if I would have watched this as like the Mandalorian movie special on Disney Plus? No, because it felt like that. It felt like the Mandalorian. Not a bad thing, just it felt like the Mandalorian. Even a couple scenes with stormtroopers felt like maybe the stormtroopers were CGI. And that's another thing is like I know how they use the volume stage and everything for filming the show. And my question is, what did you do to make this different than the show? Did you film just on the volume? Did you film in location? I mean, I know there's a lot of huts. Should you have made some of them a puppet just to throw back to old Star Wars and feel like old Star Wars? I'm not saying the CG is um, bad. I want it to feel like there's more than just okay. This scene is the Mandalorian in a room with nothing. Um, I feel like there was way too many humanoid extras in certain scenes. Like you could have peppered in more alien species, like like the the ones like Ahsoka looking. I can't remember all the creature names at the moment, but just the ones that look humanoid that but are like Kit Fisto, Kiadamundi type species people, where it's just people in makeup and just had that instead of just having a lot of just humans as extras in the background. That makes the universe feel that big galaxy that we've experienced. Sigourney Weaver's character was weird because how much cooler would it have been? Like Sigourney's fine if it had been Laura Dern as like Colonel Holdo, this person we see working for the New Republic that's in the military. So there's a little bit more connective tissue than when we get to the Last Jedi. If you're watching this in order, you're like, oh, it's her because they reference her being this leader and having this history, and we know that we've already teased some sort the Praetorian Guards in season 3 of The Mandalorian. So why not pepper that just a little bit more with these characters? Because Laura Dern's awesome. I mean, no one's going to see The Mandalorian and Grogu because Sigourney Weaver's in it. It's kind of nice having a familiar Star Wars face. I think it would have been a really appropriate character for Laura Dern to be. I like seeing Zed. Okay, we saw him in season 3. He hasn't teamed up with the Ahsoka series yet, so that was neat. Him working with Mando for the New Republic. That's cool. Um, I'm on board with that. You know, it doesn't need to like tie into the show as much as like I didn't need lines about the Mandalore home planet or Bo-Katan or any of that stuff like storylines that we had been seeing on the show. But I needed to feel like this was something big. Him going after these Imperials are great. It's showing that they're rounding up the Imperials. Um, it would have been nice because this is a cinematic, and if you're someone who's only watching the Star Wars on the big screen, if um, there was something that let you know that the Empire is up to something, but they discover that there's a small faction of the Empire, or something that starts to allude to what or the new the First Order is compared to these just like Imperials spread out on the big screen. I think we got the Praetorian Guards was a big thing that helped with that on the small screen. But I really think a lot of these series should start with either after the Battle of Yavin, before the Battle of Yavin, or after the fall of the Empire. Something for people who come in to know where we are. Because if you're just watching Star Wars and the last thing you saw was, Rise of Skywalker, and then you're watching this and they're talking about the New Republic and the Empire, you might not understand because you thought, wait, the Empire was destroyed. You might not realize where this takes place. Um, I'm, I think that a Mandalorian and Grogu movie just needs to be big. Like, they went to what Nalhutta and one other planet. It should have been more like traveling the galaxy. Um, I don't know. It's not bad, but something's missing for me to feel like this is a great movie. There's definitely an arc, there's a series, and even Solomon afterwards said, that was fun. I really did it. but it's not like this is the end of the Mandalorian and Grogu story. It feels, and I feel like what other TV shows have done a movie that really made the movie worth seeing? Now, I'm going to bring up this one, Paw Patrol. I know what you're thinking. What the heck, Tyler? But when Paw Patrol made the jump to film, to movies, the stories were bigger. They increased the animation styles. Even the background world became Adventure City than Adventure Bay. I recently watched part of the first Paw Patrol movie when Sailor was in the hospital. Because uh, she was watching whatever they had. And even then, felt like, okay, this is a story, a design, and everything that isn't the same that I'm getting on Nickelodeon. Recently, Teen Titans Go to the movie, I think was great, but they messed up by not really amping up the animation. It's the same animation style, though that is a much better story, production value, sound, everything that's in Teen Titans Go to the movies. Visually, it wasn't selling that it was anything better. Now, there might be some more that I can't think of at this moment of TV shows to a big screen. Um, but anytime you make that kind of a jump, what is the story that's kind of that makes it worthy of going to the theater? Especially in something in Star Wars, which was the Mandalorian was bringing Star Wars home to your TV. Now the rain's really picking up here, like I'm on Camino. I'm gonna jump off. What are your thoughts? Oh, my last thing. Hold on, I gotta say this. I like the poster where it says the Mandalorian and Grogu, and it's done in this kind of sweeping green aura with the title being different. I like that. I thought that was just enough to separate it as this Star Wars movie. But then when the movie starts, it says The Mandalorian and Grogu. The same font and style as the TV show. The score is good, but it's like they took the theme and they didn't make it bigger. Like, what would it be to have the theme more orchestrated and bigger to where it felt more pumped? Or something to where it separates um, the theme from the TV show. Now, I'm going to use the Wonder Woman theme. Uh, if you listen to the Wonder Woman theme on BBS, then listen to the Wonder Woman theme in Wonder Woman the film, then listen to the theme in Wonder Woman 1984. It's the same theme, but it's been different and changed for each film to kind of accustom and change that film. And that's kind of what I was hoping that maybe we would get with the music for the theme, so we recognize that's the Mandalorian theme. But this is a larger epic scale for this theme. Now I am going to listen to the score later on its own, but it was worth mentioning because I do feel like we kind of let it down a little bit by doing this. And the title card, like I said, it could have been really cool. Like if anyone remembers how they did the Rogue One title card, how it had the space shot and then Rogue One was in yellow and it kind of rolled out. Where it's like, oh, that feels like Star Wars, but it's different. I kind of wish that we had gotten like something similar with the Mandalorian about like being over space, or like the kind of like the rising sun of the planet, and then boom, Mandalorian. Like it just felt like little things there that really would make this seem like this isn't your television Mandalorian. Enjoy the show. May the force be with you. I'm glad to see Star Wars on the big screen. I'm looking forward to next year's Starfighter because that could be something really special.